So guys, tune into the show. Don't miss it because it's going to be an amazing show. You are going to be touched. You're going to be amazed. You're going to be excited. It's Thursday, 11 o'clock on a Thursday. The Message Talk Show with Alex Gordon. Yes, don't miss it. So guys, tune into the show. Don't miss it because it's going to be an amazing show. You are going to be touched. You're going to be...
You are listening to the Message Talk Show and Podcast. Do you believe you have something to share? Do you believe you have something to contribute? Do you have a story to tell the world, to share with your community? Gandhi said, man often becomes what he believes himself to be. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. So join us on the Message Talk Show and Podcast with host Alex Gordon.
Good morning. We're there again. Thursday, 11 o'clock, beaming across the world. 7 billion people. Hey, listening to the Message Talk Show. Okay. I can have my fun, can't I? Good morning and how are you today? Wherever you're listening from, call your friends. Call your friends. Call them. Give them a call. Tell them it's time to tune into the Message Talk Show. Yes, call your friends, call your worst enemies, call the people who don't like you. Tell them to tune into the Message Talk Show. It might change their mind. Turn off all the tabs on your computer. Shut down the radio. Switch off the TV. Now, you shouldn't be watching TV this time of day. Well, depending on where you are. Okay? You should be heavy in tune with your destiny, with your purpose, doing something to change someone's life. Yes. So tune in, man. Come on. How are you? How's it going? It's another exciting day. It's another exciting day. I am excited because I'm here with you and you with me. You have a glass of water, a cup of tea, ready to tune into the Message Talk Show because today we're talking about a mindset, reset mindset, how to reset your mindset in the next 30 days. It all begins with the mind. Yes, everything begins with the mind, guys. You get the mind wrong, you're finished. It all begins with the mind. A coach said to me some time ago, just this year, he said, you know what? Information does not cause transformation. Lots of information does not make change, doesn't cause a change in your life. But the only way you can be transformed is by the renewing of your mind. Well, that's what the good book says. It says by the renewing of your mind. How do you renew your mind? You renew your mind by feeding your mind. Feeding your mind. Today we're talking about your mindset. Reset. The past 12, 14 months has been a challenge for most people. And we're on the verge of being set loose. Yes, we're on the verge of going back out into everyday living and mixing and connecting with people. But before you do that, let's take some slower steps into just diving in and to work out where we all are and what we need to do for the season that we're in. The season that we're in, the time that we're in, that's going to generate different kind of results. The last 12 months was totally different to anything that we've ever seen before. Some people have lost loved ones, and my condolences to you all. Some people are stressed out because of it, because they've been living at home. Some people are lonely because they're on their own. Some people look forward to the daily interact of family and friends, but weren't able to do that. Some people look forward to the interaction at work, the interaction on the traveling to work. You don't understand this, how much human interaction we have each day under normal circumstances. And then to be left in a state whereby there is partly no interaction whatsoever, very few interaction whatsoever. And some people are challenged because of over interaction. But it's been a challenge all round. But today is the Message Talk Show. And today, we work with passionate individuals. We believe that passion brings change. Yes, passionate individuals are bringing change across this world, one person at a time. Are you bringing change? Are you a consultant? Are you a coach? Are you a business owner? Bringing change in the community. And it all starts with your message. It all starts with your messaging. Hey, so my name is Alex Gordon, creator of Master Your Message. And I help business owners. I help people stepping out of 9 to 5 to pitch and present and hold their own, despite being nervous, despite being an introvert, and despite, not feeling like you're an expert when you first begin. But it's time and it's a season for something else. And that's why I'm here. So I promise you today, if you stay to the end of the show, it will be worth it. Yes, I'm going to make it worth your while for tuning into the show for 30 minutes. 30 minutes, okay? 30 minutes. I'm not going to hold you for any longer today, 30 minutes. So tune in, okay? So let's begin. When we talk about mindset, we're talking about everything beginning with a thought. Yes, it's one thought. What happens to that thought? You see, in your mind, you go to your subconscious, into your belief system, and the thought that you think, it gets read against your belief system in your subconscious. In your subconscious mind, you're thinking, is this true or is it not true? Based on my own subconscious mind, based on my own belief system, is this true or not true? If you believe it to be true, then you take a necessary step, you take a necessary action. If you don't believe it to be true, then you take a necessary action as well. But everything begins with a thought that generates an action. And those actions culminate in the results that we're looking for. If you want to change the result, change the thought. If you want to change the result, you might have to work on the subconscious because it's the belief system that's inside of you. So let's delve a bit deeper today into what we're sharing with you. Right, so it begins with the mind, the frame of mind. When we're in a frame of mind, we are always becoming, we're always doing, or we having. Yes, we be, do, and have. It's a state that we're in. We're either becoming or we be. And a coach said to me this week, Alex, we have to understand that we must appreciate the now. It's so important to appreciate the now, just to be and appreciate the now, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. You don't know what's going to happen next week. You have no guarantee what's going to happen. All you have is the now. And the now is the seconds in which you step. Because if you even look ahead of that, you don't know what's going to happen. So appreciate the now in the state of being. We're in a state of doing, and we're in the state of having. So where are you today? Are you being? Are you doing? And are you having? So mindset is everything. So today, let's take an assessment. Let's look at the growth that we've experienced or not experienced. Then help us to identify the issues, what went wrong, and then let's take control, because you can only control what you can control. If you don't understand that there are only certain things you can control, then you can't do a mind reset, can you? So bear with me, guys. This is Alex Gordon on the Message Talk Show, talking about how to create a mindset reset in the next 30 days. It's always about your frame of mind that you're operating in. Yes, the being, doing, and having. So what are you doing right now? That's your being. What are you doing right now? That's your being. Just drop it in the chat. Just go to the chat now and tell me one word of what you're being right now. What are you doing right now in the being? Yes, you're being. You're listening to the Message Talk Show. Yes, that's good. You're listening. Okay. You're not calling your friends right now. You should have done that ages ago. All right. You should have done that a long time ago. But you're listening attentively. And you probably got a glass of water. Yes, you got something there, but okay, that's great. So let's think about this. When we do an assessment of where we are, we're looking at that vision, the vision of where we could have been, where we should have been, or the place that we defined some time ago. So that place, are you there yet? Are you where you wanted to be? When you look back 12 months ago and you anticipated the future, are you there yet? Did you really define where there was meant to be? Did you make an adjustment for the period that you were at home and not working? Or did you redefine your goals based on the new format of living that we have for the past 12 months? Did you look at your 3 to 5 year plan and think, no, I can't do that anymore. I have to reassess it. So we're looking at assessment. Think of it from a personal perspective, how it directly affects you, how it directly affects your home, how it directly affects your business, and how it directly affects your career. Now, I'm thinking that within your business and your career, the way it affects you determines your finance. So your finances in your business, your finances in your career. So how has this affected you personally? Are you where you wanted to be? Think about it. What were the things that you had in mind that you wanted to do for the past 12 months? Some of us wanted to travel, yes. Some of us wanted to go on cruises, yes. There are a lot of things that we want to do, but we couldn't do them. So because we couldn't do the things that we wanted to do, did we reassess and say, right, I can't do that, but I'm going to have some time available that I can pull down something else from the future that I wanted to do from a long time and do it? Did you look at the bucket list and reassess it for you? What was it about the home? Could you have done some some decorating, some DIY during the time? Did you do some? How did it affect your family? How did it affect your family? Are you where you wanted to be? Are you where you should have been? Are you there yet? Did you really define it? Did you really understand it? Are you within that 3 to 5, probably 10-year plan of that you're working to? And then a lot of businesses took a hit this year. A lot of businesses took a hit. Some was able to pivot very well, and they pivoted and pushed the business online and didn't lose out. Some business went to the wall. Some businesses, although they had funding, it still didn't hold them for the length of time that they wanted to be held. And so some businesses are busy fighting back right now to come back from where they are, from the hit that they've received as a business. And it's difficult, especially those in the event, retail. It's been difficult. But there is a constant reassessment going on right now in those businesses about what they need to do now, how they need to do it. And so there's decisions that have been made by the government, which they are waiting for clearer decisions from the government about how they can trade, about how it's going to affect them, and whether or not they'll have some support. There are so many different factors, but it's an assessment of where you are in your business. And likewise, an assessment of your career. Yes, an assessment of your career. Your career has been affected. Some careers, well, they've lost a job, but it doesn't mean the career is dead. But it also means that there's a reevaluation now of what you're going to be doing from here onwards. Now, I was listening to a broadcast in the States, and they were saying that restaurants, anyone involved in the retail trade in America, I don't know if it's happening here as well, on coming out of the lockdown, they were unable to recruit staff. they were unable to recruit staff. They couldn't find staff to do the work. Now, the argument was that, okay, because they'd received substantial amount of money from the state, they were sitting at home and didn't want to work. But it was also said that after some reevaluation, people were reevaluating whether or not the work they were doing, that they should be breaking their backs to do it. Yes, they're reevaluating their lives and thinking, why should I go and work 3-4 jobs for the minimum wage and I can't survive? And so they're looking for new opportunities. And because they're looking for new opportunities, guess what happened? In some parts of the states, it is said that a lot of the retailers, restaurants, big companies involved in retail have reassessed their minimum wage, and almost doubled it just to get staff out. Now imagine if you were just trying to get minimum wage raised, and to get that done, a massive campaign and the resistance that would have taken place. But because of supply and demand, because the supply restricted itself, the demand was there, the price went up just to attract more staff. So the minimum wage was raised without much government intervention there in some parts of America. Now, I don't know if that's happening in the UK as well. I don't know if somehow we are feeling the same things. We're unable to recruit staff in the retail trade. That would be a result, wouldn't it? Where the demand and supply, the free market mechanism raises the minimum wage for those at the bottom end of our society, on the front end of our society, the ones who took the hit during the pandemic, because they're on the front line. That's amazing. And so how has it affected you? How has it affected your career, your business, your home, your personal, your finances? How has it affected you? Think about it. And it's now is the vision clearer now about what you're going to do with your life? Before you make any rash decisions, just sit back and think about it, because until you understand these things, you need a mindset reset. You need a reset of the way you're thinking about your career, the way you're thinking about your household, the way you're thinking about your finances, the way you're thinking about your business. It needs a reset because things are not the same. The norm, as we see it, is no longer the norm. So what prevented your growth? Was it good things or bad things? In any situation, I believe that there's always room for growth. Always room for growth. And I don't know if you've read that book, Mindset, by Dr. Carol Dweck. In the book, Mindset by Dr. Carol Dweck, it talks about fixed mindset and growth mindset. People with a fixed mindset are unable to see anything other than the personal situation that they're in. And they think the worst of themselves. They think the world's out to get them. And any situation they're in is that the world has got them and they can't move. It's fixed. People with a growth mindset will always believe that I can work myself out of the situation. I can receive more information to help me change. I can educate myself out of the situation. I can work harder. I can work smarter. I can always push myself. That's a growth mindset. So what prevented your growth during this time? Was it good things that prevented your growth? Did you have too much time on your hands that you didn't know what to do with? What prevented your growth? Was it the chores that prevented your growth? The chores that you found to do to occupy your time when you could have been working on something that would advance your business or your career or an opportunity for yourself. What was it? What prevented your growth? Or was it bad things? Was it horrible things? Or was it the lack of money that stopped you? Did money stop you? Did money stop you advancing your life, advancing your future? And that's why I put the word sabotage. What sabotaged your thinking in this time that prevented your growth? These are all questions for you to answer and think about them. Think about it. Now, I've got one question coming up here. So why is it so important? Why is it so important to have a mindset reset during this time? Why is it so important to have a mindset reset? Because the norm, as you have a reference point. Remember what I said? It starts with a thought. The thought then drops down to the subconscious. And in the subconscious mind, it looks at your belief system and think, is this correct or is this right? Based on what your belief system is saying, you then take action. So why is it so important? Because the norm as we knew it last year no longer exists. Everything about last year changed. And as you go back out to this new, different way of working, different way of life, different decisions, companies have to make different decisions about what they're doing. As you move back out, you have to somehow understand that things are not the same. To accept things not the same, you need to reset your own mind. Reset them, reset the thinking. You no longer think in the same way. Opportunities don't look the same. The job look the same. The space at work may not be the same. So many things would have changed. And that's why it's so important for your own sanity, for your own peace of mind, to have a mindset reset. And so what prevented you growing? What prevented your growth? Was it because you had a fixed mindset and therefore you accepted the situation, you accepted what was happening to you and didn't make any additional effort in your career, in your life to do something else while you had the time on your hands? What was it? Or some of those chores or money? And that's why I put the word good things in good, because sometimes there are some things in our life that's good. There are good things that happen in our life that stops us from doing the preferred things. Good things stop us from doing the preferred things. What are some of the good things that you've done? Okay, you probably redecorated the house. You probably wrote a book during this time. Yeah, I mean, just think about it. What are the good things that prevented your growth? Because when we talk about growth, we're talking about adding value to your own life. Yeah, adding value to someone's life. Your growth, your personal development during this time. Now, a while ago, I talked about sabotage. Yes, sabotage. You know, sabotage stopping you growing. What about procrastination? Procrastination preventing you taking the necessary steps. Procrastination filled with excuses. Oh, I can't do it today because I don't feel too well. I can't do, if only I had another £100. If only I had another job. If only I could do this. If only my company would give me a pay rise. If only my company would give me more money while I'm off. If only I had something else to do during this time. If only. Loads of excuses. What's held you stop taking the necessary action that you should have taken? Is it because of your fixed mindset that you're accepting the situation? You've accepted all the things that I've listed preventing you. You just accepted them without a challenge, without a push. You've just accepted them. What about people? Wow. What about people? There are some people in your life. There are some relationships that you can keep and some that are toxic. Let's go down the toxic route first. The toxic route. Some relationships that are toxic. Negative impact on your life. Doesn't help you to advance. Doesn't help you to grow. Doesn't help you to make a difference. It impacts your psychological well-being, your emotional well-being. It impacts you in a negative way. And some of those relationships are manipulating you in a way that you're not taking the necessary action, you're not moving, you're not doing, you're not growing. And you feel guilty all the time. You feel guilty for the actions that you do take because of the relationship. They are toxic. You're emotionally drained. And it's almost like you're working with a bully. Yes, you are emotionally drained. You feel guilty. You've been manipulated. Has a negative impact on you. It's toxic. And it's not helping you. It's preventing you to grow. Those are toxic ones. Now, there are some relationships that you keep. Yes, the good ones. Probably the not so good ones. But somehow you have to find a way of putting the boundaries in. Yes, putting the boundaries in. Do you know that there are some relationships you have, even with your clients, that need special boundaries, or else they will call you up at whatever time. Whatever time of night they will call you, especially when you work for yourself. They will call you at whatever time because they're stuck. They want a result. They want an answer. It needs clear boundaries. You need your time. You need your space. And you need to be paid. You need your money. We sometimes misunderstand or underestimate the amount of effort that you have to put in just to make things work like TikTok. Like TikTok. Just the amount of effort you have to put in. So when you work for yourself and when you're stepping out of 9 to 5, and I can assure you that this going into the end of 2021, there'll be a lot more people stepping out and doing things on their own than ever before, because they've lost their jobs, they can't find another job, and they want to do something different. They want to reevaluate their life, and they want to take control. And so defining your own time, having a clear space where you can think, where you can use to your advantage, and making sure that you have your own money. You get paid on time. You get paid for what you do. These are clear boundaries that needs to be setting. So, okay, guys, I did promise you that we're 30 minutes. So let's hang in there now. Let's hang in now. So we're talking about creating a mindset reset in 30 days. Yes, having a mindset reset in 30 days. We've talked about having an assessment of our vision, an assessment of our lives in our different areas. We looked at what was causing us not to grow, our growth pattern, whether we have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset that affects us. And now we're going to go to identifying specifically so we can take control. So we talked about the people. Now let's do this. Let's make a list. Let's make a list. When you procrastinate, you are fearful of some things in your life. When things are not working according to plan, you become fearful of doing certain things. So let's identify these things. Yes, let's make a task list. Okay. Get a sheet of paper out. Yes, right. Make a list. There's a list of 10. What are you afraid of? What's stopping you from moving? What are they? What are they? What's stopping you? What's stopping you from taking necessary action? Are you afraid of writing? Are you afraid of reading? Are you fearful of being on your own? Are you scared of taking the next big step because it feels too big? Or do you want to remain in the job for the rest of your life? What is it? What are the things that you're fearful of that's causing you to stay where you are? Is it the people around you not helping you to move? Now, have a look at these elements and think, do these give a positive cash flow to my life? Do they help me? Do they consume my time? Do they add value? And if you can reassess these things in this list from these 3 different outcomes, whether it's a positive cash flow, whether it consumes your time, whether it adds value. If it doesn't add value, if it's consuming your time and it doesn't add a positive cash flow, but it's not adding value at the same time, because something could have not so much of a positive cash flow, but it's adding value. But you want to keep a balance there, do it, don't you? And because you want a balance, here's the rule. Here's the course of action. Discard it. Discard them. Discard them. Get rid of them from your list. Discard those activities. Discard those tasks. Delegate them to someone else if you've got a team around you. Automate them if you can, so they happen without you, or outsource them completely. Get a subcontractor to do them for you. Find a way to deal with the things on that task list that's not having a positive cash flow in your life, that's consuming your time, and that's not adding value to your life. Think about it. Let me have one more question coming up here. What actions can we take? What actions can we take? Discard them. Make a list. Make a list. Sit down for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. Make a list. I know some of you are advocates of making lists. You've got lists coming out of your ears, but you don't take any action with them. Make a list. Prioritize the list. Work your way through the list in terms of priority. Rate it from probably 1 to 10. 10 being the highest level of importance, 1 being the lowest, and group them together. And then decide if you can discard them, if you should discard them because they're not adding value, they're consuming your time, and it's not got positive cash flow to you. Delegate it, automate it so it happens without you, or outsource it completely. Outsource that task completely. All right? Think about it. It's not difficult. Just make a list. You have to work on, you need a mindset reset to the way you think and live your life in 2021 post-pandemic. So because you've made a list, you can now take control. When you're able to take control and make decisions for yourself, and you go through your list, you can discard what you discard, you can delegate, you can automate, and you can outsource. And hey, I'm even thinking about outsourcing the housework, mate. Outsourcing the housework. I was listening to a coach recently, and this was a coach of my wife's, and the coach said, housework, outsourcing. The coach said, if you believe you're worth $300-400 an hour, £300-400 an hour, that's the value you put on yourself with what you're doing, then don't spend time doing a £10 an hour task, or a £20 an hour task, or a £50 an hour task. Don't waste your time doing those tasks. Outsource them, because when you outsource them, it still leaves you free to accelerate and to grow in what you're doing. If you consume yourself with those tasks, it means you forego the opportunity of the earning power that you would have had. So that's how you take control. Now, I'm not sure what you're going to do. I'm not sure what you're up to. The one thing I know is that post-pandemic, you need a mindset reset. Things are not going to be the same. 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 Things are not going to be the same post-pandemic. And therefore, because things are not going to be the same, you have to take control. Take control of what you do. Take control of where you're going. Take control of how you build your business, of how you build your next level of your career, or the opportunities that you are now seeking. You must take control, because it's your life. You've got to lead it, because it always starts with the mind. You're either being doing, or having. Everything begins with your mindset, with the frame of mind in which you're in. Now, why am I talking about the mind? It's because the last 12 months has had an impact on your mind, has had an impact on your welfare, your health, your mind, the impact. Some people have lost loved ones. Some people have had broken relationships during this time. So it has had an impact. So you have to take charge and somehow frame what the next 12 months are going to look like. But don't forget living in the now. Living in the now and making sure that you have a spirit of gratitude, spirit of gratefulness, a spirit of gratitude for now. So let me just close with this. Take an assessment of your personal, your home, your business, your career, your finances, determining why you haven't grown in certain areas. Identify by making a list and take control that you can create. You can create what you want in 2021. So the rest of 2021, the next 6 months, doesn't have to look like the first 6 months of the year. Amazing. And this is Alex Gordon tuning in on the Message Talk Show and saying to you, you've got so much to give and so much to offer the world with your passionate self that you can't afford not to look after your mind.
You are listening to the Message Talk Show and podcast. Do you believe you have something to share? Do you believe you have something to contribute? Do you have a story to tell the world, to share with your community? Gandhi said, man often becomes what he believes himself to be. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. So join us on the Message Talk Show and podcast with host Alex Gordon.
So yeah, tune in again on the Message Talk Show, Thursday, 11 o'clock. Tune in. Make sure you bring a friend. Okay, guys, I will see you again. Miss the show. You got to be on this show.